could have been really great at something, but they decided, they needed to play it safe, or maybe they listened to their parents or some of their friends. They go to college. Maybe college wasn't really for them. Maybe they could have been a good electrician or a singer. And we get away from making those things perfect that we enjoy, that we can create income from, and we settle for the things that seem to be easy to us. And I think that welcome back, guys. Dwayne Burns here. I wanted to talk to you guys today about how to beat procrastination and lack of focus in your life, and show you a little bit more about where lack of focus comes from and how people fall into a pattern of being irresponsible, not maintaining certain disciplines that are going to help them achieve the type of goals that they imagine for themselves. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is learning how to think for yourself. It sounds so cliche or simple, but learning how to think for yourself, I think, is pivotal in learning how to beat procrastination and lack of focus, because typically people who are not focused, they're doing something that they're really not passionate about. They're not happy to do whatever it is that they're getting involved in. And as a result of that, they have a really hard time giving it their all and actually giving 120, 150, 200% effort, which is going to be what it takes to be excellent at whatever you do. And so what I want to advise for people to do is to take a moment to actually think about all the things that they do every day. And if those things are not moving you closer to the things that you're passionate about, the things that you love, you should stop focusing on those things and start focusing on finding a career path that allows you to do something that you enjoy. Because when you enjoy doing what you do, it doesn't feel like work. And putting in those extra 2 or 3 hours a night, working 8 to 10 hours a day, it's not going to feel any differently than working 6 hours a day, because you enjoy doing what you're doing. And I think that people get into a pattern of making decisions based on scarcity. So I want to talk about scarcity for a moment. People have developed a pattern of being used to lacking. And by lack, I mean not having things. And so when you look at the world from a framework of not having things, you always feel like this opportunity is going to be the last opportunity I ever have. So someone who might be really good and cut out for something else, they will settle, so to speak. They fall into a pattern of settling because they feel like, if I don't take this opportunity, I won't find anything better. People do this in their dating life. If I don't get with this girl, I'm not going to find anyone to be with. And we fall into this pattern of basing our decisions in life on fear of missing out and feeling like if we don't settle, we won't be able to get what we want. And that pattern compounds in every aspect of your life. So I want to talk about that a little bit. So first things first, I think that people need to start acting from a mentality of abundance before they have it, because it reinforces a pattern in your life. When you're willing to pass on an opportunity because you believe that you're valuable enough for something that's a better fit for you, that mentality creates a pattern where you're not going to just settle for anything. And another thing that I think is a huge indicator of procrastination and lack of focus is going to be discipline. A lot of the times, I feel like people don't realize what it's actually going to take to accomplish something great. And similar to like people that we all look up to, like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, these people mastered the little disciplines every single day, and that was what made them stand out so much. It wasn't about the flair and the tricks and all of the things they can do to make the crowd go woo. It was more about those fundamental principles, right? Kobe Bryant would shoot one-handed jump shots in form 3 feet from the basket every single day repetitively. And I feel like I was relearning this lesson again yesterday. For those who don't know my story, I used to do martial arts full-time. I have a black belt in Taekwondo. I just embarked upon a new journey to get back in the kind of shape that I was in when I was doing martial arts. So I signed up for jiu-jitsu, but during our first class, I felt that discipline coming back into my life that martial arts provides, because the basics of martial arts is fundamental disciplines. Repetitions, doing the exact same discipline over and over and over and making it as perfect as possible. And so sometimes we get too caught up looking in the big picture of things when we really need to look down at the small picture and say, what are the individual areas that I can improve upon that contribute and create the big picture, right? So it's like a wall isn't designed, right, to just be one big wall. You essentially have to make sure that every brick is laid properly, and the better you lay each brick, the straighter and better wall you'll have. And that's the way that people should be looking at their life, right? One tiny improvement after another. Another thing I want to talk about is the habit of using social media as a way to judge how you're performing in your life. I think it's a huge contributor in how people think, what they think they should accomplish, because people will look at someone on Instagram who has a nice car, and it may not even be their car, but they're looking at this person like, wow, this person's doing all of this, and look at me, I'm not doing anything. But the whole truth of the matter is everything that glitter isn't gold. So if we stop looking at society and looking outward instead of inward as to what decisions we should make in our lives, we're going to be much better off. We're going to be more centered. We're going to be making decisions based on our own desires and not allowing other people to control our lives in that way. Because when you allow society to dictate how you act, you are in some sense giving the world access and control over your mind. And that's the last thing that you should want. So another thing, and here's an example of what I was just talking about, is how many people could have been really great at something, but they decided, they needed to play it safe, or maybe they listened to their parents or some of their friends. They go to college. Maybe college wasn't really for them. Maybe they could have been a good electrician or a singer. And we get away from making those things perfect that we enjoy, that we can create income from, and we settle for the things that seem to be easy to us. And I think that a lot of the times it's easier to just settle for something that you feel is safe than it is to actually do something you're wholly passionate about and actually succeed. So a couple tips before we jump off here is, one, if you don't know what you want to do right now, or maybe you're doing something you don't want to do, take some time to consider what it is that you're truly passionate about, and do your actions daily reflect someone who is persistent upon achieving those passions. Okay, for two, stop letting the world be your judge, and you need to decide what is good for you. The moment you take full control over your life and your decisions, the more focused that you're going to be able to become. Number three is going to be commitment. I don't have a plan B. When I started this solar company, I decided that this is going to be what I do, and I don't get sidetracked with separate opportunities. Obviously, there's great things that come up. People present me ideas all the time, but in order for me to be committed to my vision and the promise I made to myself, I need to stay committed to what I've decided that I was going to do when I made a decision to get involved in this industry. So 3, get committed, right? Stick to one thing. Don't try to be a jack of all trades. If you look at the greatest people in the world, most of them spend their entire lives becoming the best at one thing. So even if you have an exit strategy, maybe it's not your goal to be a CEO, maybe it's not your goal to run a business for the rest of your life, but make a commitment to get to a point in your business or your career or professional life that's going to allow you to pursue those passions, and be committed to whatever steps is necessary to get to that point. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope that you got some value from it. If you're seeing this video on YouTube or on Instagram, please hit the like button, the share button, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you.